We will be learning about Myrrh, the resin that anointed kings, preserved pharaohs, and is now being tested against cancer. Somewhere in the desert of Somalia, a man cuts into the bark of a small thorny tree. A dark golden resin bleeds out. It hardens in the heat. He collects it carefully, the same way his grandfather did, and his grandfather before that. For 5,000 years, this act has been repeated, because what drips from this tree has been called sacred by more civilizations than almost any other substance on earth. This is myrrh, and its story will change the way you see history. The gift that predicted a death. Most people know myrrh as one of the 3 gifts of the wise men: gold, frankincense, myrrh. Gold for a king, frankincense for a god. But myrrh? In the ancient world, myrrh had one primary association above all others. It was used to embalm the dead, to prepare bodies for burial, to preserve flesh against decay. So when the Magi placed myrrh at the feet of the infant Jesus, they were not just bringing a gift, they were making a prophecy. And the Gospel of John confirms it. At Jesus' burial, Nicodemus brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 75 pounds of it, to wrap his body. The same resin, the same hands of history, the beginning and the end. Myrrh is the only substance in the entire New Testament present at both the birth and the death of Jesus. That is not coincidence. That is sacred symmetry. The pharaohs and the science of eternity. To understand why the ancients treated myrrh as divine, we need to go to Egypt. 3,000 years ago, the Valley of the Kings. The Egyptians believed that the body had to be preserved perfectly, or the soul could not make the journey to the afterlife. And myrrh was at the center of that process. Modern scientists at the University of Tübingen analyzed the chemical residues inside ancient Egyptian embalming vessels. They confirmed myrrh was a core ingredient, used not just for its sacred symbolism, but for its proven antimicrobial power. Myrrh literally stopped the bacteria that caused decomposition. The Egyptians did not have microbiology. They did not have electron microscopes or petri dishes, but they observed over generations that myrrh kept flesh from rotting, and so they called it the gift of the gods. They were right. They just didn't have the words yet. The secret formula God gave Moses. In Exodus chapter 30, God speaks directly to Moses. He gives him a formula, a sacred anointing oil, never to be replicated, never to be sold, never to be used on ordinary human skin, reserved only for the holiest of purposes. The first ingredient God names, 500 shekels of liquid myrrh. This oil was used to consecrate the tabernacle, the dwelling place of God, to anoint the Ark of the Covenant, to consecrate Aaron and his sons as priests, to anoint the kings of Israel, including Saul and David. Myrrh was the first touch of the divine on the chosen ones. Not gold, not silver, not precious stone, a resin from a thorny desert tree. Modern science now tells us why this may have been wise. Myrrh is a powerful antimicrobial, proven to kill drug-resistant bacteria, including Staphylococcus aureus. Anointing wounds or skin with myrrh oil in the ancient world was not just ritual, it was protection. From Mecca to Beijing, myrrh's sacred reach extends far beyond the Bible. In Islam, myrrh is used as a traditional medicine and is mentioned as a blessed resin. In Saudi Arabia today, myrrh is still widely used as a home remedy, applied to wounds, used for oral health, burned as incense for spiritual cleansing. In traditional Chinese medicine, myrrh is called mo yao. It has been prescribed for over 2,000 years to improve blood circulation, reduce pain, and heal wounds. It is still listed as an official medicine in Chinese pharmacopoeias today. In Ayurveda, the ancient medical system of India, myrrh is called guggle. It has been used for arthritis, digestive disease, respiratory illness, and to purify the blood. A 2025 comprehensive review confirmed these traditional uses are now being validated one by one in modern laboratories. Every culture found this tree independently. Every culture came to the same conclusion: sacred, healing, essential. What modern science just discovered. Now, let's look at what researchers are finding in 2024 and 2025. The active compounds in myrrh are called sesquiterpenoids, triterpenoids, and steroids. Antimicrobial, myrrh oil kills drug-resistant bacteria, including Staphylococcus aureus. When burned, myrrh reduces airborne bacteria by up to 68%. Ancient priests who burned myrrh in temples may have been unknowingly sterilizing the air. Cancer research. A lab study found myrrh inhibited the growth of 8 different types of cancer cells, specifically gynecological cancers. A 2022 research paper found evidence that myrrh extract has cytotoxic activity against cancer cells, meaning it kills them. Studies show it may induce apoptosis, programmed cell death, in breast and liver cancer cells. Wound healing. Myrrh accelerates wound healing by promoting collagen synthesis and preventing infection. It has been used on wounds for 5,000 years, and clinical evidence now confirms it works. Pain and neuroprotection. Research shows myrrh interacts with opioid pathways in the brain, suggesting a natural pain-relieving mechanism. The Gospel of Mark tells us Jesus was offered wine mixed with myrrh before the crucifixion as a pain-numbing mercy. He refused it. But the fact that it was offered tells us the ancient world understood its pain-relieving power. It is important to be transparent about where the science stands. Many of these findings are from laboratory studies and early-phase clinical trials. Large-scale human trials are still needed before myrrh becomes a standard medical treatment. Myrrh can interact with blood-thinning medications and diabetes drugs. Pregnant women should avoid therapeutic doses. Always speak with a healthcare provider before using myrrh medicinally. Think about what we have just traced. 5,000 years ago, a man in Somalia made a cut in a thorny tree. Caravans carried what dripped from that tree across deserts, to Egypt, to Israel, to Persia, to India, to China. Every civilization that received it decided, independently, that it was sacred. The Egyptians used it to carry the dead to eternity. God named it first in his holy anointing formula. The Magi brought it to a king they believed would change the world, and they marked his death before his life had even begun. Jewish priests burned it. Islamic healers prescribed it. Chinese physicians dispensed it. Ayurvedic masters revered it. And now, in 2025, scientists in laboratories are finding that it kills cancer cells, fights drug-resistant bacteria, heals wounds, and relieves pain. They did not need labs to know this. They had something we are still learning to trust: observation, tradition, faith. The ancient world was not primitive. It was paying attention. If this moved you, Share it with someone who needs to hear it. New episode every week. Ancient wisdom, modern proof.